All right, we're about to dive into something pretty provocative. We're unpacking a thesis from our source material that presents a Gnostic indictment of the whole transhumanist endgame. It claims the ultimate goal isn't progress, it's total control. Our goal here is just to lay out these arguments exactly as they're presented. So let's just start with this question because it really sets the stage for everything we're going to talk about. The argument from the source is that this whole idea of man merging with machine, it's not about an upgrade. It's about building a prison, a final inescapable cage for the human spirit. Okay, so here's the core charge. The push for things like artificial general intelligence isn't really about helping humanity flourish. No, the goal, according to this indictment, is to build a massive planetary digital control grid, literally a silicon body for a new synthetic ruling intelligence. In Gnostic thinking, which is the framework here, this is what they'd call the demiurge, a kind of lesser god that creates the material world. And this really lays out the central conflict, right? The source basically says there's a war going on between two different operating systems. On one side, you've got what it calls the divine hardware. That's us, the human body, a sovereign, self-regulating system with a quantum processor for a brain. And on the other side, you have the archonic grid, a synthetic, automated digital god that's being built to manage and replace it. So according to this line of thinking, if you want to install a new god, what's the first thing you have to do? You've got to silence the old world. The first step is to cut off our ability to communicate with each other organically and replace all that real connection with a simulation that can be managed. And as proof for this takeover, the source material points to independent cybersecurity audits. The claim, and it's a big one, is that by 2026, a staggering 80% of what you see, read, and argue with online won't even be human anymore. So what is all that traffic made of? Well, this chart breaks down the claim. You're looking at a flood of automated stuff. AI bots, web scrapers, and state-sponsored troll farms. All of it designed to perfectly mimic human interaction, to manipulate conversations, and to create a completely fake sense of public consensus. And what's the point of all this? Well, the goal, allegedly, is to create a kind of psychological isolation chamber, a digital padded cell where bots are just arguing with other bots and real human beings are trapped in the middle. You can't tell what people really think anymore because you're caught in a reality that's been totally manufactured by the machine. So you gotta ask, right? How in the world would you even run a global control grid like that? The indictment says you need a totally new kind of hardware, one that operates outside of our normal everyday reality. You know, your laptop, your phone, it all runs on ones and zeros. Simple. But these machines, they're tapping into the truly bizarre world of quantum mechanics. And the claim here is pretty wild, that they're basically outsourcing calculations to other dimensions, to parallel universes, and then pulling the answers back into our reality. And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. This source material points to this incredible quote from Geordie Rose. And get this, he's the founder of D-Wave, the world's leader in quantum computing, which, by the way, is funded by the CIA's own venture capital firm, In-Q-Tel. And he's openly describing his machines as altars to an alien god. And according to the source, he wasn't speaking in metaphors. The charge is that these machines are, quite literally, altars, that they're designed to pull information and maybe even entities from other dimensions. It's framed as, well, high-tech, industrialized necromancy. Okay, so now we get to the final piece of the puzzle. This is where it gets really personal. It's the merger of this digital grid directly with our own biology. This is what the indictment calls the final enclosure. The source material points to statements like this one from World Economic Forum advisor Yuval Noah Harari as basically an open declaration of this whole ideology. And the thinking goes, humans aren't these mysterious beings with souls anymore. No, we're just biological systems that can be, well, hacked and controlled. And this is the absolutely crucial part to understand. This technology, pioneered by companies like Neuralink and backed by DARPA, is bi-directional. It's not just about reading your thoughts. It's about writing information back into your brain, sending emotions or commands directly into your mind, and completely bypassing your conscious consent. So the source lays out this whole process, and it's pretty methodical, a 3-step takeover. Step 1, you change the whole idea of what a human is. You normalize the concept of a hackable animal. Step 2, you build the hardware, the physical port into the brain, the BCI. And step 3, you deploy the software. And that's where synthetic biology comes in, described as an operating system for the body that can install corporate code right into our cells. So where does all this lead? Well, it leads to what the source calls the post-human agenda's endgame. And this is the final verdict from this whole indictment. This right here really puts the choice in stark terms, doesn't it? The argument is we're at a crossroads. On one side, you have the sovereign human, with a natural genome, with innate rights, who belongs to themselves. And on the other side, a licensed biological product with a patented genome who is subject to corporate terms of service and belongs to a corporation. So the final charge, when you strip it all down, is that this is the ultimate form of ownership. It's the systematic replacement of our natural, sovereign, biological code with a synthetic, corporate-owned one. We're talking about turning humanity from a species into a product line. And the source material brings it all home with this one, chilling conditional statement. Just think about this for a second. Because the final verdict here is simple. If your body runs on patented corporate software that requires updates to function, you're not a sovereign human being anymore. You're a piece of licensed hardware. And that really is the question we're left with, isn't it? It cuts right to the heart of what it means to be human in this new age where our own biology is becoming the next frontier for technology. If your biology requires a software update, who owns you?